This is a surprise, motherfucker. Hey, how's it going? This is your friendly neighborhood Venger Satanis, chilling at night. Normally, I wouldn't make a video at night because I'd be hanging out with, if not my wife and the kids, then just my wife. But she's not there because she's on vacation with our daughters, and I'm home with the twins. Um, anyway, this video is about Lovecraft milk because I was lucky enough to be on the Diversity and Dragons. I don't know if it's just a weekly video, like episode that they do, or a live stream, or I'm not actually sure. But I was on it for the first 45 minutes or so. It was a lot of fun. There was some drama in the beginning, not anything that happened between fellas, but just my home life. It blew up just a tiny bit. It's fine though. But so we were talking about something, and then like social justice warriors complaining about I don't know Christmas or something like that. And then I linked that to the Cthulhu mythos, how uh, the woke revolutionaries will use Lovecraft's IP, but then they'll rant and rave about how terrible he is and how they wish they could cancel him, and you know, um, so they want their cake and eat it too. Um, and I think I used the phrase they were milking Lovecraft. Then I went back after I was done with the video or my segment, and then looked at some of the comments because I didn't get a chance to read them. And two people, at least two or three, at least two people, said something like made a reference to, or they commented on that phrase, milking Lovecraft. They both were against it. They're both like, maybe you should use. Well, one person says maybe you should use like a different phrase because that just didn't come out right. And then the other person was even more vehemently saying that like that is not something you should ever utter again, which makes me think that phrasing has power. It has something. It has something. Not everything pleasing to the ear or the mind is worth keeping or scavenging, using, and reusing. Sometimes I'm not totally baked, by the way, just so you know. Not just a Rick and Morty reference. Anyway, goddamn, what was I saying? Um, well, I was talking about, oh yes, milking Lovecraft, and it doesn't always have to be pleasing. Sometimes the most wrong thing is right under certain circumstances. Just like the word moist. So many people have a problem with that word that now it has more gravitas. It has, you know, extra weight. It has more power, more energy, more. Yeah, I think energy is a good enough word to leave on. And if you can pick up on that, say in a game session, like I'll use like a string of words, or maybe key on one word, or I'll throw that word into like an entire sentence, and then a player will respond with like gross, or like oh my god, or they just start laughing, or they're like all right, fuck this, I unsheath my weapon, and you can tell that what you just said, somewhere in there was power. There was some sort of vibrational response that activated something in their brain that made them react in some fashion. And that reaction, I mean, you don't always want it at 10, but every once in a while you want to get those highs, right? Just like every once in a while we feel those low lows. Maybe we don't want to, but maybe we need that sometimes to fulfill I don't know, the balance. Anyway, where was I? So anyway, if you pick up on that in the game session, or when you're writing, or speaking on a video, or blogging, if you pick up on that something you said has a greater energy than other things by an order of magnitude, utilize that. Like, remember that thing that you said, and then somehow incorporate that into your stuff at some level with like notes and prep, or going straight into the lore, or writing down so you can refer to it later in a session, or remembering to use it in the game. Because the more powerful words, the more power your communication is, the more energy it has, the things you say, the more you will have affected your audience, that person, those people, the players. And we know what we want to do, but the fact that you want to do anything at all requires action. So that's why these things are necessary. That's why it's necessary to use words and phrases that have power, that have this energy. And apparently, milking Lovecraft is one of them. So milking Lovecraft, or perhaps Lovecraft milk, is something that I will have to use, probably in Chult, because that sounds like that's where that shit belongs. That's another reason why I love Chult. Did I mention I'm not totally baked? Okay. Another reason I love Chult is because, like, anytime you get this weird, experimental, bizarre, surreal, funny, just weird idea, you can, if you want to, you can plop it down into Chult and make it work. That's true. You can do that. I don't think there's anything you can put in Chult that you can't somehow shoehorn in there and make it work. Might take a little doing, like a twist here and a tweak there. You can make it work. Not so with with many other role playing games and campaign settings or genres. But something like Chult, if you have an idea, you can put that in your upcoming game, even if you have like 5 minutes advance notice. Sometimes even if you think about it, like in that second, you can somehow like use it like right away. But a lot of times, it's a day, 3 days before a game, and I'll think of something, and then I can put that in my Chult game. Whereas I might not be able to put that in a game like Alpha Blue, or even like D&D. And you definitely can't do it with, I don't know, like an Old West game, or superheroes, or Traveler, or Call of Cthulhu, or anything like that, where it's very specific what you can include, because going beyond that, it doesn't serve a purpose, or the purpose it serves isn't compatible with what you're going for. So, Lovecraft milk, milking Lovecraft, that whole thing. Um, Apparently, that has power. That that imagery has energy. So we're going to use that somewhere. At first, I was like, maybe I could just have that be like another name for Zoth. Um, Lovecraft milk. Lovecraftian milk. But then I'm like, yeah, that's cool. But then I just kind of like clipped that idea's wings. And now it's over. It found a good home. Like, it's done. Put it to bed. I didn't go the extra mile. I didn't like surpass my expectations. I just kind of like put it in the nearest slot. So now I'm thinking, if I give it some thought, maybe I could really come up with something cool, like maybe even super cool. Um, to that means to using it in another way. So I'm gonna think on that. I'm gonna try to come up with something else. So the fallback position, like worst case scenario, I'll just use that as a quirky phraseology for Zoth in my Chult campaign. But chances are I will probably be able to come up with something more exciting. Exciting and new. So yeah, we'll see. But yeah, keep that in mind. Certain words and phrases put in certain ways, certain imagery has gravitas, has the ability to make people do things, or at least react in a certain way, and that gives you power. That gives you energy. So you've just created like a positive, I don't know, feedback loop where you come up with something great and you use it, and then that makes that thing greater, and then it bounces back that power and energy to you, and then you feel greater, and then like you put that into your game, and then that makes things greater on that end, and it's just like just I don't know. Was that a Jacob's ladder? Is that also kind of what that is, where it's just like bing bong, bing bong, bing bong, bing bong? I don't know. A lot of rambling tonight. Sorry about that. If that's not what you had in mind when you clicked on this video, you poor, poor man. I'm gonna leave it at that. It's time to chill and get a snack from the kitchen and a Mountain Dew. All right.